They vanished after the wedding, the mysterious disappearance of Dylan and Shen Yue. The world watched in awe as Dylan, Wang, and Shen Yue said their vows beneath a glowing sunset in a hidden coastal town. The ceremony was quiet, deeply emotional, and far from the eyes of the press. There were no official announcements, no interviews, no paparazzi. Just two people who had loved each other in secret, now daring to step into forever. But what happened next turned a dream into a global mystery. 2 days after the wedding, Dylan and Shen Yue boarded a private car headed for the airport. They were scheduled to arrive in the Maldives for their honeymoon, a place chosen for its peace and distance from flashing cameras. But after that car pulled out of the gated villa, no one ever saw them again. The staff at the private resort confirmed the booking. A luxurious overwater villa had been prepared, complete with candlelit dinners, floral arrangements, and champagne. But the couple never checked in. Their phones were turned off. Their families remained silent. And fans across Asia were thrown into chaos. What started as whispers turned into a storm. Rumors flooded the internet. Some claimed they had eloped to another country. Others said the marriage was fake and this was all part of an elaborate publicity stunt. But nothing added up. Then came the photo. A blurry image surfaced from a local shop owner in a remote island village. It showed two people who looked eerily like Dylan and Shen Yue, standing beside an old motorcycle near a weathered dock. The woman was barefoot. The man was wearing a baseball cap, hiding most of his face. But the way they stood, close, as if the world was behind them, gave fans a thread of hope. Where were they going? And why did they vanish? 2 weeks passed. Back in the city, their management teams released a cold, generic statement. It simply said the couple was taking time off to focus on themselves and asked the media to respect their privacy. But true fans knew something deeper was happening. Dylan had always been present online, never missing a birthday message or behind-the-scenes update. Shen Yue, too, often posted thoughtful captions and candid smiles. Now, their pages had gone dark. Then a voice note. It was released anonymously to a fan page and quickly went viral. The voice was unmistakable. It was Dylan, and he sounded breathless, shaken. "We didn't mean to disappear," the message said, "but we had to get away before everything caught up with us." Caught up with them? Who or what was chasing them? Was this about the industry? Was it personal? The voice note continued. "I'm sorry to everyone we left behind. We'll come back when it's safe." The internet exploded. Safe from what, people asked. Theories ran wild. One said they had uncovered a hidden truth about a major network and were now hiding from legal threats. Another claimed Shen Yue's family had never approved of the marriage and had tried to separate them. Others believed the couple had simply run away to live a quiet life, away from the expectations and pressure. But then came the most mind-blowing moment yet. A new video surfaced, just 5 seconds long, posted by a child from a fishing village in Thailand. No one thought much of it at first, just a shaky clip of the ocean, a dog running along a pier, and in the background, a woman laughing. But when the camera turned briefly, just a flash of a second, it captured a couple walking into a beach hut. And in that second, the face of the man turned toward the light. It was Dylan. There was no mistaking the jawline, the side profile, the way his hand held tightly onto hers. It was him. And it was Shen Yue. The internet erupted in tears and celebration. They were alive, together, happy, but still hiding. Fans called it the most beautiful love story of the decade. A marriage in secret, a honeymoon in hiding, a love so deep it needed no audience, no cameras, just two hearts beating as one in a world that often demands too much. And then, just as quickly as it came, the video disappeared. The account was deleted. The footage was scrubbed. But the image had already burned into the hearts of millions. The world now waits. Not for gossip. Not for headlines. But for two people in love to return when they are ready. Stronger. Braver. Untouched by noise. Where are they now? Only they know. But one thing is clear. They chose love. And love chose them. Absolutely. Here is part 3 of the dramatic and emotionally intense Dylan Wang and Shen Yue series, continuing from where they vanished during their honeymoon. This next chapter is filled with powerful moments, cinematic twists, and pure emotional energy to keep your audience glued to the screen. They came back, but everything had changed. The return of Dylan and Shen Yue. The silence had become a storm. For nearly 6 weeks, the world heard nothing from Dylan Wang and Shen Yue. No footage, no updates. Just the echo of a mysterious voice note and a few blurry clips that vanished as quickly as they appeared. Fans held on to hope while media agencies flooded the networks with theories, speculation, and whispered lies. Yet through it all, one truth refused to die. They were still out there, together. And then one afternoon, everything changed. A black SUV pulled into a private terminal at the Beijing International Airport. Security was tight. Faces were covered. No press had been notified. But one photographer, waiting for a completely different celebrity, caught a moment he would never forget. The car door opened. Shen Yue stepped out first, her hair longer, wrapped in a silk scarf, her eyes tired but calm. Behind her, Dylan emerged, his hand gently resting on her lower back. He looked different, leaner, quieter but steady. The world had not seen him in over a month. Yet here he was, alive, real, and still holding her hand. Within minutes, the photo exploded across every platform in Asia. Dylan and Shen Yue are back. But they weren't alone. Walking behind them was a man none of the fans had ever seen. Mid-40s, clean-cut, eyes sharp. He was not family nor crew. Speculations grew fast. Some said he was a lawyer. Others said he was a government official. But one thing was certain, the couple was under protection. The press tried to shout questions, but no response came. Only silence. Their expressions gave nothing away. But Shen Yue briefly looked back before entering the terminal. And in that one glance, fans saw it, a flicker of something between fear and courage. They were home, but something had changed. 3 days later, Dylan finally broke the silence. He posted a black screen with a single line of text. "We did what we had to do to protect our love." That was all it took. Thousands of comments poured in within seconds. Fans wept. Some were confused. Others demanded answers. But most just waited. Something bigger was unfolding. The next night, a video was posted on Shen Yue's channel. It was unlisted. No thumbnail. No announcement. Just a 20-minute recording titled "For Those Who Waited." The video opened with Shen Yue sitting by a window in a quiet mountain villa, her voice soft but steady. "We disappeared because we had to, not because we were hiding from fans, but from something darker, something that tried to erase us before we ever began." She paused, eyes glancing at the camera as if unsure how much to say. "We found out something about people in our industry, people who didn't want us together, not just because we were in love, but because we were stronger together than they expected." The words were simple, but they hit like thunder. Beside her, Dylan appeared, resting his hand on hers. "We signed a contract 2 years ago," he said, "with people who told us who to love, what to feel, and when to smile." He looked down for a moment, breath catching. "We broke that contract. And the punishment was silence." The screen cut to black for 3 seconds. When it returned, it showed footage of them on the island, running through sand, laughing under lanterns, dancing by a small fire. Moments that felt like a dream. And maybe they were. Because when the video ended, it ended with this line. "Now that we are back, they want us to disappear again. But this time, we are not going quietly." Within 24 hours, the video hit 15 million views. And that was only the beginning. The storm after the return, Dylan and Shen Yue refused to hide. The world could not look away. The unlisted video on Shen Yue's channel had been meant as a whisper, a quiet message for those who truly cared. But the whisper became a roar. Within 48 hours, it had crossed 30 million views. Every network scrambled to analyze it. Influencers broke it down frame by frame. Entire broadcasts were dedicated to decoding what Dylan and Shen Yue were really saying between the lines. But while the world speculated, Dylan and Shen Yue did something no one expected. They went live.